So I was walking in Hobby Lobby with my sister a few weeks ago when I suddenly feel like I'm being watched. So I turn to my right, and there's just a bunch of birds staring at me, and they're also just tiny and cute, and I think to myself, I need this. So now I have a bunch of birds. They're just here now. I have birds. This is amazing. Anyway, as you could probably tell from my foolish decisions, I'm now a college student, and being a college student means that I simultaneously have way too much free time and I have way too many things to do. So anyway, this video is one of those things that I have been meaning to do for the past 6 months and never got around to actually finishing it. So I really want to finish this video. I really want to finally tick it off of my to-do list because it's been staring at me, bugging me for the past few months. So there's been a lot happening since the last video I uploaded on this channel, and definitely a lot more than the last one of these vlog-like videos. I think the last one was actually over a year ago. So in this video, I'm basically going to recap everything that happened in 2022. So what makes this video a little bit more awkward is that I'm kind of talking to two different audiences at the same time right now. One is the few of you who have known me for more than the past few months, and you might be wondering, why the hell are there so many people here on this channel? And for the majority of you watching, this is the first video that I'm uploading live onto this channel. So I'm going to try and kind of introduce this channel as well as also explain what the hell happened at the same time. So for the majority of you who are new, you can think of my videos as kind of like video form personal journal entries, which for some reason I'm sharing on the internet. Like, this is basically just a public diary, and I usually talk about things that interest me, or I work on build projects that end up incorporating ideas about the things that interest me. So my Minecraft Survival World series have a lot of videos showcasing Minecraft art projects about what it's like to go through teenagerhood, and in my other freeform videos I also just talk about random stuff that interests me. And I don't know if this sounds a lot deeper than it is. I just make Minecraft videos and I talk during them. Yeah, for the people who have known me for longer. So basically what happened was, over the summer in 2022, I spent a lot of time reading about a specific subject. Like, as you do, you just fall down a rabbit hole, and it wouldn't really have amounted to anything if I hadn't seen in my sub box an announcement from one of the YouTubers that I watched that he is hosting a video making competition. And so I was already reading about the history of math, and I was kind of already thinking about making a video or doing something with it. Like, okay, maybe I can incorporate this into Minecraft somehow. But then I just saw that video in my sub box and I thought, okay, you know what? I'm going to make a sum 2 video with the very little math knowledge that I have, and fueled completely by my serendipitous interest in the history of math. I'm going to dedicate the next few months to making this video. And so usually when I make these kind of resolutions to myself, I don't stick with them, but for some reason I did. And so I uploaded it on YouTube, and I was honestly expecting that it would not be seen by anyone, and that I would have ended up wasting 200 or 300 hours working on this huge video project. And the moment I pressed the publish button, I was like, okay, this is over. I don't have to think about this ever again. I hate what I just did. I just wasted so much time working on this. This is gonna go nowhere. I'm only publishing it because I told myself that I'm going to do it. And fast forward a few weeks later, and it ended up getting a winning position in that competition. I was not at all expecting that. I was hoping to myself, maybe in some like other world I could maybe have a chance of winning, or maybe not even win, but have the YouTuber even watch my video in the first place. But it went all the way to the most extreme, like beyond all the hopes and expectations I had for that video. And it ended up giving me free YouTuber merch and money as well. And now that video is sitting at 1 million something views, and it's still surreal to me, honestly. So that's the reason why this channel has a lot more people. It's all people watched. It's all math nerds. That's a thing I would not have expected at all at the beginning of 2022, that I would accidentally become a educational YouTuber. And honestly, the novelty has definitely worn off a lot since it's been several months since that happened. But it's still unthinkable to me that this actually happened. This thing that I happened to decide to spend a lot of time on just happened to get very insanely popular. And I'm so unthinkably lucky to have a sudden new platform to make videos on. YouTube was always a thing that I kind of just sunk time into, and I always expected it to kind of just always be a sinkhole of time and energy. Now it's a sinkhole of time and energy with money as well. I suddenly have enough of an audience that it kind of makes sense to make videos, which is kind of scary, honestly. This is not sending a good message to me. Oh my god, my hobbies are now being incentivized. Oh, this is... I am going to get incredibly disappointed years later when the good karma from this falls apart. And I quite honestly have no idea what I'm doing. This is like I'm trying to run a business with no experience. I've gotten a few sponsorship inquiries, emails, and I have no idea how to do that shit. Like, I didn't go to school for this. What am I supposed to do? And I haven't really spent the time to look into how to run a YouTube channel yet, which is probably not a good thing. I should probably learn soon. My plan for now is just make videos. It's not gonna work out, I know. There's like so many aspects of YouTube that I have no idea anything about, but I'm just gonna ignore all of that. I've been trying to kind of distance myself from YouTube and just think of it as this other entity that I happen to be like kind of related to, but that's not me. I don't know. If any of you have any experience at all with this, or you've gone through something similar with a viral video or whatever, please tell me what you did, how you reacted to it, what I shouldn't do, because I am clueless. Anyway, most of this happened toward the end of the summer, so just before I was about to move into college. So honestly, my first year at college, my first semester at college has been so surreal. I think even it would have been surreal even if this Sum 2 thing hadn't happened at all. But because of it, it just added to the surreality. Surreality, is that a word? The first day actually that I went onto campus, one of the professors recognized me when I said my name and said, "Hey, I watched your video." I'm like, "What?" And it turned out that the professor I interviewed for the video had sent it to another professor in my college. And then that professor sent it to the whole faculty. So it was just circulating around the faculty before I came. I was expecting to just be another one of those like new students, but apparently I had a name for myself before I even stepped foot on the college campus. That did not feel real. I also feel like my attitude toward college was able to change because of that video. I almost treat school even more like a hobby than I already did. Because everything I learn here, I kind of think in the back of my mind, this could be another video. I didn't think about this in high school, that all of the adults in the school are kind of like mini experts in every field of knowledge. In high school, it was like, okay, they know a lot, but they're not like experts. But here in college, everyone is literally an expert. Like, they've spent decades researching a specific area of a field of human knowledge, and they're just open. Like, you could just walk into their room and be like, "Hey, I have questions," or "Hey, I want to talk to you. I want your knowledge. Give it to me." It also struck out to me just how crazy it is to have freedom. I've always had some amount of freedom. This is a whole different level. Like, on the weekdays when I'm in school, I could just leave whenever I want to. I could just take a walk around campus whilst classes are taking place, and no one cares because everyone else is doing the same thing. Like, I can even leave campus anytime without telling anyone, and the time that I don't have anything blocked in is just free. I can do anything in that chunk of time. But also, with this venture into having freedom as an American youth, I've also had my first run-in with the American healthcare system. So I didn't realize, first of all, how powerful the brain is. The brain can create physical body symptoms of anything. Like, it could just make your heart feel like it's dying, or make yourself think that you're not breathing very well. And so probably because of the stress from living on campus, I had a lot of random physical symptoms. So I went to the doctor, and there they recommended me to take a test. And so I did. I took that test, and I made the foolish mistake of not asking for the cost, because I walked into the place, I sat there for 30 minutes, and I walked out. And a month later, I got a text from the hospital, and there's a number in that text. And that number is so big, I thought it was a joke or a phishing scam. And then I looked at my online profile, and that number was still there. It wasn't a joke. And honestly, I'm not sure if I should be more shocked at how expensive healthcare is, or how much money I got from YouTube for making one video. But it was a similar level of shock, and a similar amount, honestly. But that taught me a pretty important lesson about America and just living on my own. Honestly, not too bad considering everything. It could have been worse. And honestly, that feels more like education than what I do in school. Like the stuff I do in classes, it feels kind of like a game, or like I'm playing. This feels like the real stuff that I'm supposed to learn. I'm getting experience as an adult in training. So that's cool. On a kind of separate topic, I'm really surprised at how normalized or how not spectacular this transition period of life is, like going from high school to college. Because to me, this is a crazy experience. Like, one of the strangest experiences I've ever had is just whatever happened in 2022 for me, being in my last year of secondary school to moving to third tertiary school. I don't know. Like, I don't hear too many adults talking about how strange it was to exist in this time. Like, this year was so surreal for me. It's almost indescribable how weird of an experience this was. Not just because of YouTube, but because of the overall huge life transition. Like, the last year of my high school, the first half of the year was incredibly stressful, and then the later half of the year was mind-numbingly boring. Like, I was just waiting for something to happen because I knew that there was something huge in the future, but it just wasn't coming. So moving from being incredibly stressed to being incredibly bored, that was like one of the first huge tone shifts of 2022 for me. And it happened around like March-ish. But then toward my graduation and toward the beginning of summer break, I felt another tone shift, or another incredibly weird feeling. Like, in that time, I felt like I was existing in a paradoxical space. I knew that I was very close to the thing that was going to happen. Like, I knew that there was going to be a huge shift for me, but it was still on the horizon. And it kind of felt like to me that I already experienced it. Like, it was like, I'm going to blink and miss it. Like, I'm going to blink and suddenly I'm out of college, and I'm looking back and thinking, man, I miss being an adult in training in college. Like, those are the great years. But as I'm experiencing that, I'm still realizing, wait a minute, this didn't happen. I haven't gone to college yet. Why am I trying to feel nostalgia for something that didn't happen yet? And just the feeling of suspension from not having anything to do and just having something lingering in the near future was such a strange experience. I'm kind of repeating the same words over and over again. I have on my notes that it felt like an overwhelming feeling of mundanity. Like, I can't feel the weight of anything that is happening. Like, I know that this time period of my life is something that I'm going to look back on and think, wow, that was a huge moment. But the fact that nothing is happening now, that it's just so empty right now, is just so contradictory to that idea that it's supposed to be one of the biggest experiences. So I'm like constantly in this simultaneous state of existing as something with so much potential, but also existing as something that is just killing time, as if it's already over, like there is no potential. Like, kind of losing the words to describe this, but the ordinariness of life during this time is so out of place, and it's in conflict with just how ridiculous everything is. Like, I'm supposed to have a huge set of experiences that I've never had before, but everything feels normal. It hasn't like kicked in yet that I'm going to go to college. Like, it still feels like just a normal summer break, and just being in that state of simultaneously expecting such great potential and also just feeling everything is normal. Like, it was like those are the two most separate experiences that you could possibly have. Like, it's a state of recognizing how temporary everything is while also feeling that it's going to stay eternally the same way. It's two complete opposite ideas just shoved in, coexisting as one. I don't know if any of you understand or even agree with me that this was kind of what it's like, but I don't know. This was the strangest year for me. It was also the mark of the end of quarantine for me, and COVID is still an issue, but it doesn't feel as big as it did in 2020 or 2021. So everything I feel like came together so well to create this hodgepodge of polar opposites existing in the same short time span. And that was 2022 for me. I don't know how coherent any of this was. I kind of have just been rambling a lot to myself. Anyway, if there was some kind of narrative I wanted to present 2022 as being, it was the ultimate year of transition, honestly. I feel like I've been experiencing transition stages for the past many years, living as a as a teenager, especially a teenager during a pandemic. But it kind of, I feel like, culminated in 2022. Like, I don't know what this is. There's probably a whole lot more to come in 2023. I just wanted to acknowledge it out loud to myself. I don't know why I had to include maybe 100 people. I don't know how many people are going to watch this or going to watch to this part of the video. I don't know why I had to include all of you, but maybe you'll find it interesting, or maybe you'll agree with me or disagree or sympathize or whatever. Anyway, those were some, not all of the things that I went through in 2022, but hope you all have a good one. Take care. If you guys are in school, if you're in college, then good luck on the coming semester. And if you aren't, then good luck with whatever. Good luck with 2023, honestly. I don't know if this was a needlessly personal video, but don't think it was. I don't know. Anyway, that's it. I'm gonna end this. This is over. Stop recording. There we go. See ya.